So my name is Chandra, a PhD candidate in Human Biology program. I'm going to present on my activity report on the Biomedical Innovation and Entrepreneurship training course for Spark, Asia, and Oceania. So I would like to first start on how it was look like. All events were conducted on Zoom and Teams. We have around 50 participants and 3 different time zones, Taiwan, Japan, and Sydney. It was the first time for all of us to meet at the Zoom and Teams, so it was kind of hard. We have different backgrounds from different universities, and it was a highly diverse environment. Some are coming from the chemical background, art, engineering, medical doctors, programmer, or even biotechnologists. But we share one same goal. That's to find out how to start a new business in medical life science. So the course overview, I'll describe it like a KitKat, meaning that in the first week, it's about the knowledge, idea, and team. So we were really trained very hard on creative thinking, intellectual property, how bench to market looks like, medical device development, and drug paper proposal. And on the second week, it's more on the CAT part, which is the key, application, and transition. Finding the right key, how are you going to apply your idea, and how are you going to make the transition? It's about how to pitch, how to finance your idea, the multimodal approach, and from the academy to pharma. So it really looks like building a Lego. If you try to build a Lego, then might want to start with the medical needs, and then going on to describe one specific problem of the medical needs, going more on describing a specific one solution. And above all, we need to think about the intellectual property and the proof of concept of the solution. And then thinking about the market size, the return on investment, and the funding. All of this build up together to create the final pitch. So our journey looks like this. We have 4 members. All of us have different backgrounds. And we had 0 ideas. We were not sure what we should work on or what we should focus on. But we have billions of interests. So after long discussions, we decided to focus on one problem, that is prosthetics joint infection. But then another problem pop up, which is what joint are we going to target? What bacteria? Is it going to be a prevention, a treatment, or a diagnosis? How are we going to prove our concept? And is there anyone else who already built the same product? How about the money? Who are we going to sell with? Who is our market? How much does it cost? How much are we going to sell it? And a lot more. So our team made up of 2 from National Cheng Kung University, 1 from UTS, and me from School University. Then again, we started the story with how prosthetic joint infection looks like. Then we followed on the existing solutions, which is alternating magnetic field or hyperthermia, a very similar device being used to treat cancer with heat. Now, the problem with alternating magnetic field is that high temperature is often had problem with the tissue safety. Then we come up with the solutions on the cooling system, which is to apply the static magnetic field and the monitoring device. And that we present our product joint, which is a non-invasive implant care. The idea is simple. Basically, we apply heat to the implanted joint without being have to do any surgery. So it is a non-invasive one. while we do imaging on the implants and the surrounding tissue to prevent any tissue damage. So then if we were to suppose it is a car, then the 3D thermal imaging system that we propose is going to be the monitoring system on our speedometer in car, so that the heat doesn't go over and damage the surrounding tissue. And then we have the muscle cooling system, and the heating system is the one that has already been discovered by different groups, and the implant cooling systems by using the static magnetic field. So then we try to build on the proof of concept. So for example, on the in vitro study, which takes around 2 years, our main focus are the 3 following points, which is the safety, efficacy, and sensitivity. Each of the following points are evaluated as follows. For safety, we want to see no discomfort, no pain, and no tissue damage in the in vitro model. While efficacy is to reduce 80 to 90% of the colony-forming units of the PGI or prosthetic joint infection model, which means reducing 99% risk of PGI. And on sensitivity, it's how small can we detect these colonies of bacteria by using our imaging system. Then more on the clinical study, briefly, we do a site preparation, recruiting around 500 participants with 4 sets of images taken in the primary endpoint. And since the technology is going to be used at the post-operative phase, we are going to divide the participants into high risk and low risk PGI developing groups. And again, the evaluation point here is to see no discomfort, no pain, and no tissue damage. So then moving on the competitors, we try to find out if there is already or clinical trials or any FDA approved products. Then what we found is that we have 18 patents that has been submitted under the idea of magnetic field for preventing infections and other preventions such as enzymes, coating, and protein vaccine. So how does our product really different from what already being applied is that there is no commercial product has been found so far. And all of the product is still trying to find way on how to safely heat up the implants. So then we think, well, we can go forward with the idea, and now we should think about the product price. So we think that usually in the revision surgery, hospitals do not gain any profit. Most of the time they gain loss. And we think if we do a product cost for around 10 to 15,000 US dollar, the hospital can still profit for around 56,000 US dollar per year.
Last 1 minute.
So then we do a approach of hospital to home care, and the go-to-market strategy. We use the de novo pathway. And the value proposition is about the unmet needs on the antibiotic resistance and the PGI that needs revision surgery. So really for the patients and for the hospitals is that by using our product, it only takes 5 minutes per sessions, but revision surgery takes around 1 week, including recovery period. And it only costs $20 US per sessions as compared to 100,000 US dollars. And financial projections, we were thinking to enter the market for Taiwan and Japan, as followed by the US as we go on. So just to sum it up, the learning points are on the team management side is really to know about your team, what are their patients and their expertise, try to be positive and keep productive, keep your focus on the problem. On the entrepreneurial side, it's about keeping it simple. Try to focus on one problem and one solution. And think about multi-model approach. Always have a backup plan. And I think this is a different point of view from research. In entrepreneur, I think there will always be someone that knows something better than you. So we should always try to collaborate and move forward. So I would like to say thank you to all the supports given and the opportunity for participating in Spark Studio.